Hello out there, and good morning, traders, and welcome to the Apteros Daily Market Insight. Probably a spicy insight here for you today because we've got a little bit of some news coming in at 8:30, which is pretty close to where we're at right now. But let's start with our recap, and then we'll go into our session plan and levels for today. So, pretty straightforward session for us. We had a bigger context kind of rotational situation going on here. We were looking to be bullish from this line in the sand area, bearish from this line in the sand area. And we ended up seeing some neutral zones in between there get tested, and none of them really offering a good opportunity along with scenario one to continue to the upside. Whenever we were prepping, we were kind of in this zone here and pulling back into the open. We had some acceptance there for a possible chance to get on with scenario one, but we got no meaningful turns, no meaningful inflections coming out of that zone. It stalled there for a second and then just broke down quickly. So at that point, we were doing nothing but really just waiting for a test of our line in the sand. Pulls all the way down to our line in the sand right in here. Gives us a really nice opportunity to get on board with scenario one, and never looked back there from the rest of the session. Pops right into the first neutral zone, pulls back. On the second chance, if you didn't get on board with the first low, pops right back into that area, starts to stabilize, and then pretty much off to the races through into the next neutral zone, pulls back, holds again, and back up through there, kind of completing the full narrative into the close of the session for the day. So nailed the kind of low a day there, nailed the high a day. It happens, and that's part of the analysis, part of the power of the analysis that we do here. So let's take a look at what's going on today. Okay, so as I said, we have a little bit of news possibly coming in here, so we may see a little bit of volatility kind of entering as we work here. But essentially, we're looking at the same scenario that we had yesterday. We didn't clear out that area. We didn't clear out this rotational context yet. As a matter of fact, most of our timeframes are rotational. We were a little bit more bullish in our bias in this rotational setting because of the multiple timeframes having rotational lows in this area. The targets, however, are considerably higher for some of the bigger timeframes for their rotational destinations. So what that means for us is we essentially have to clear out this particular line in the sand area to see any further upside. If this area doesn't get cleared out, then we remain rotational, and we possibly could start seeing the neutral zones be recovered by price again as we start coming back down through this area. So it's one of those situations where we have further targets, further destinations on higher time frames up above, but to get there, we have to get through a obvious what is picture on our lower time frames. And if we clear that out, if we get enough of a movement from the catalyst today, that would kind of be good information for us to continue with the upside. If we don't clear this out, then we remain in this area here and we remain rotational, in which case we would have kind of a bearish bias in the short term coming down into some neutral levels here. And that would kind of be how we basically deal with it. So in terms of scenarios, this is really more or less scenario one, kind of staying in this zone. So along with that idea, this is the general list for us, with scenario one being, a pop and a hold into this section here. The main targets for this would probably be right into here because that's kind of where the value areas line up the best. And then from there, if it continued to the downside, we'd start looking for this neutral zone and looking for tests of our bullish, kind of move from yesterday. So that would kind of be the scenario one layout there. Scenario two would be a breakup above that, continuation of the upside. This is our first target here. And then if we get any further upside from there, we would be looking for the stretch target up to 52.10, somewhere up in there. So that's where we're at right now. You can see the volatility kind of entering into this market here, and we'll see how this plays out. Right now, it looks like we're kind of pressing through our line in the sand area here. You get a little bit of some live commentary. If we kind of push like straight up, that would kind of give us the acceptance picture above this list, and we'd be looking at scenario two. And once again, we'd be looking for a pullback into there, holding this zone, and then an inflection coming back out of it to continue on with scenario two. If that fails, doesn't happen, the collapse back into this area would bring us back into a rotational setting. All right. Okay, so that's the general game plan for today. You can kind of see it starting to evolve here in front of us. Trade well out there, mind your risk, and have a great trading day.